All right, our next roulette spins a discordant tale of two Stevies. Please welcome Shlomi Harif.
So I moved here from Israel in '93. So if we're going to talk about a little out of place, that's a good one. The only thing that was in common was the weather, the trees, the plants, and the allergies. And one of the first things when I started wandering around with my toddler daughter was they had just unveiled a statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I remember, I have a false memory of when he died, because I wasn't actually in America, but I have a true memory of when they unveiled the statue about this homeless woman who was under the bridge between 1st and 4th and Riverside, you know, on Lamar. And she had a sign that said, you know, I love you, Steve. And that's where this comes from. And the story of a woman at a time. Me and Brett had tickets to the New Year's Eve show at the Armadillo World Headquarters. I wasn't but 16. I didn't look it after I borrowed my mama's dress and heels and got dolled up. We were through the doors, no problem. Inside, it smelled of sweet smoke, spilled beer, and I went and waited out back, guarding a table while Brett went back inside to rustle up the bottles. The beer smell got real strong all of a sudden. I jumped, a hand on my back. You're a little young for this crowd, Missy. I spun round and was staring right at a round-faced man. A cigarette slanted out of his mouth, a beer in his hand, and, as my uncle put it, 3 sheets to the wind. But the look in his eyes was deeper than Lake Travis at the dam. And I just stared at him, lost, breathing in the thin air. I'm old enough, I heard myself say. Brett would be here in a jiffy, and I wasn't worried, not out here in the beer garden. But for a sec, I wanted Brett to stand in a long line inside. The man stepped back and laughed, smoke puffing out from around the cigarette. I guess you are a little lady from your look and looks, he added, stroking his eyes down my dress. I was taller than Mama and bigger, so the dress didn't cover near as much as it might. I blushed. Look for me later, he said, walking away towards the front end, toward the hall entrance. He had a beat-up electric guitar, all funny shaped like a rifle on his back. Waved to me. Brett came and he tossed his beer back like he drank every day, and by the time the music got to where we couldn't hear each other shout, Brett was outside, scoring dope. The Cobras came on stage and I saw the guy again and waved. Stevie Ray Vaughan, one of the people at the nearby table said. Ripped already. I stayed till the last song. It seemed like every time he looked up from his guitar, he looked straight into my eyes. Like he was playing just for me. Brett and I went all the way that night in his dad's big Mercury. Not the first time, but the last. Brett went to the Army about a month after that, and I never heard from him again. Stevie. My folks didn't let me buy his records, but I stashed all in the back of my closet. And I'd listen to him when my folks weren't home. Close my eyes and remember looking into his and smell the beer again and the smoke. Sometimes I'd fantasize he'd hotted me up for Brett. Sure as shit worked, I got knocked up that very night. My Stevie came along a couple of weeks before Halloween and got taken away the day after. It's for the best, my mom said. Adoption, a life with good parents. Two of them, she didn't say. The beer helped afterward, suckling the bottles, thinking of my own Stevie, suckling me. My folks didn't truck with me getting drunk every night after school. I was on the street before summertime. I saw Stevie Ray a few more times. I'd show up, slip in the bar if I could, bumming nickels and dimes for the cover if I knew he'd be playing. Maybe borrow a little flesh to get in. Then I'd wave until he noticed me and drink till I thought he cared. But in my dreams, he was always looking into my eyes. Then he stopped playing. The next thing I knew, he was a star again. Clean, with a poncho, a damn sexy flat top hat. He looked older, creased-like. I was older too. I remembered that delicious beer smell, that first swallow on a cold Austin night, and thought of him. He'd gone on the wagon, but I remembered the crazy glint in his eyes that night. His shows got pricey. He played out of town a lot. Between weed, speed, and shiner, I'd settle for hearing him on the radio rather than seeing him. I'd wave a joint or a bottle till the song was over, then think of my Stevie. Never Stephen or Steve, or whatever his folks called him now. The orphanage said he'd be in good hands. When I looked down at mine, it trembled so bad. So bad. Beer made him better some. Day after the Armadillo shut down, I went back and got me a brick off the side of the building. Just pulled one out right by the entrance. Carried it around. Used to call it my pet Dillo. When I heard Stevie died, I started panhandling first thing that morning, right down on Lamar, between the radio station and Waterloo. By 10 a.m., me and my sign that said, "Remember Stevie," had a whole $15, enough for a whole lot of tequila. I washed the smell of beer out of me that day, never went back to the stuff. Same with weed, or anything else that reminded me of Stevie. Took almost 4 years before I saw him again. I've been thinking of sleeping under the Lamar train bridge. The date started out nasty cold, but bright. There was a crowd down by the other bridge, by the lake shore. Lots of cameras around them. I've been spending days down by Waller Creek, and nights up in that damn shelter. But I'd come 4 times straight drunk there, and they closed their doors to me. So I was dragging my ass down to the bridge to find a place out of the wind, toasted my Stevie the whole way down. He'd be in college now. Older than I was when I had him. Lost him. Never had him. Anyway, the crowd started breaking up. I waited till the news people put away their cameras. I didn't want to bug them. I dusted myself up and ambled over. Happy people. Almost Thanksgiving. Then I saw Stevie, standing tall on a rock, alone, with people talking all around him. I put down my head, charged, yelling, "Stevie, ah, Stevie!" Not till I got close did I realize it was a statue. Cold metal, like the stone he was on, like the ground he was in. I just stopped there and cried. Some trooper hassled me off, but not for a couple of folks gave me a few bills. Enough for a fifth, not just a flask of tequila. I slunk back later with the bottle to the trestle bridge. And that night, after the damn gawkers had all left, I snuck back to Stevie, curled up by his right leg and told him, between slugs, all about my Stevie. Both of them. I held his hand finally, but it got too cold. Last thing I remember was feeling warm all over, like he draped his poncho on me. And then, just at the end, I smelled that sweet tobacco and the stale armadillo beer.